We understood and tried to convey the right message to people like me and you that this is not an African thing here in the US. You are Black, you're not African.
The overwhelming majority of people
Yes.
On our platforms are on board with this. But it's alarming the extent to which those who aren't go to prove their untogetherness.
Yes.
You know, like that's for me the most interesting part. Wagwan people. TJMTM is back. The boys are back. Some mad thing. What, episode 10?
Yes, the finale.
It's a mad thing, bro. If you don't know, I'm your co-host, DJ Anzo. Here with my boy.
We back.
The other co-host, Uncle E, in the place to be. We're back, man. First of all, welcome back. The influenza flu got you.
Yeah, mans was down and out, fam. You know, but
how you feeling now?
Man, alhamdulillah, healthy again.
Yeah,
it was a rough week of being sick, but you know, the Jola genes made sure that they battled whatever was holding me down.
Did you drink any attaya?
I didn't have any attire with me, but I'm sure it could have helped. But lots of tea, lots of liquid IV, electrolytes type of deal. And I don't know, you know, when you're in this Washington state, we're not used to still this change of weathers and all of that.
It's so drastic.
It's just drastically just seasons change.
Yeah. Before you know it, you're in spring.
That's what I'm saying. The summer's right now around the corner pretty much.
I mean, at this point, like if this weekend goes well, or
have you seen the weather forecast for this weekend, guys? If you don't know, this is a big deal for us here in Seattle, Washington. It's going to be tank tops and shorts.
I'm wearing the African dad sandals.
I'm bringing out the Air Wakanda.
Oh, 100%, bro.
Yo, it is. Are you bringing out the shorts, the Hoochie Daddy shorts?
It's Hoochie Daddy season.
Oh, hell guys, yeah. I'm telling you, this is the weekend, fam.
So weekend. They said what, 88?
We're going to crack over 80. Big deal for us. Big deal. Cannot wait.
I feel my summer personality defrosting.
Come on.
Some mad thing.
Come on.
For y'all who don't know, our podcast is aimed at edutaining you on all things African. So whether that's culture, music, food, history, whatever the case may be, if you want to learn anything African, our goal is to share a perspective with you from the angle of two millennials just canoeing through this thing we call life and speaking of our experiences from the diaspora. So if that message relates to you, you've come to the right place. Thank you for joining us. And for all who are constantly supporting us, we really appreciate you. And, you know, that support goes a long way. Now, episode 10, bro. It's the fastest season we've ever had. Bro.
What conversations?
Because this is the 8th of May.
8th of May. And in a span of 3 months, the conversations, the debates, the agreements, the disagreements, we've just, in a way, sparked. Mm-hmm. Let's just say we did not anticipate it.
At all. Now, we were prepared for it, though.
Yes.
Because we've had this mission, but I don't think we knew this would be the moment.
No, but not now.
You know? Just took over like that. Like TikTok blew up, YouTube blew up, Instagram blew up. The platforms that we listen to the podcast on, those blew up. The numbers, like the proof is in the pudding. It's kind of crazy. So with all the crazies have come all the good times.
Yes.
In this season, and that's season 5 now.
Season 5, yeah. People think that we just showed up.
Yeah,
there's a saturation right now of podcast and bros with opinions and people with opinions.
Yeah.
But I would just say we've been doing this for a while.
We have.
And yes, originally, like we were having conversations. We were just documenting really our conversations for our friends and family to listen to. And then we started to see that there are more people beyond our friends and family who relate to this, who have who can relate to our conversations, agree, disagree, but there was just a common sense of representation that was being shared along.
Yeah.
And now we start the season, and it was in February. And for you guys don't know, even during 2020, during the George Floyd thing, like Anzo and I we were marching, we were on the streets. We felt such a profound effect on what it was like to be Black in the US and how it actually affects even me and you as we're Africans, that we decided to record, talk about it, and just share our experiences. So we've always tried to, in a way, I don't want to say even in a way, we've always made sure we understood and tried to convey the right message to people like me and you, that this is not an African thing here in the US. You are Black, you're not African. And I feel like it, in a way, came full circle in earlier this season when it was Black History Month. And we just wanted to talk about what Black History Month meant for us, not being of, African American, Black American descent. Like, I grew up in Gambia, and then came to the US later down for college and spent my adult life here in the US. You came earlier. Same thing. And we were just talking about what our experience is, what we've learned. And I think the reaction was, in a way, for me, somewhat surprising by how far we have not gone forward in terms of what divides us. But it was also encouraging in seeing there were a lot of people who got it and who are really like on board with us uniting.
I think it's important to call out too that the overwhelming majority of people on our platforms are on board with this, but it's alarming the extent to which those who aren't go to prove their untogetherness.
Yes.
That's for me the most interesting part. But let's read a couple of comments here.
Yeah, we just wanted to kind of share with you guys some of the comments, reactions, what people have said that, we just wanted to highlight when we talk about there's a gap still that we have here where we're not really understanding each other. The whole sense of diaspora wars in 2023, Africans having stands, Black Americans, African Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, instead of us focusing on a united front on Black empowerment, Black pride, we are kind of nitpicking here and there issues that I feel like are not progressive towards us as a whole people, because like this Black people, like if we are united and we bond, we are actually strong all together, it makes it easy for us in any country that we are in this world.
Oh yeah.
Is like, I think there's a sense of, I know here US is a big country and people can get so consumed in the US affairs history, but like our skin tone is global.
Oh yeah.
It's not just in the US. So I think some people took away, they didn't get like our sense that we're not solely focused on the American experience. Yes, we're living in America and we talk about it. But when we talk about like our Blackness, our need for unity, Pan-Africanism, it's from a global standpoint, a global perspective.
Oh, 1,000%. And I think we've also made it very clear that if you are not about that, then this is not the platform for you.
It's totally fine.
Right? You can go about your day and whatever ideology you align with, but that's ours. And so if you don't align with that, then, probably don't waste your time watching us.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's only going to infuriate you, but I don't understand how, because, we're trying to do something meaningful, but, you can't please everybody.
Of course.
Much like Mike Jones -WN1SW.
What did he say?
He said, "This is so confusing." Oh, context, we were talking about the significance of Black History Month, right?
For Africans living in the US.
Yeah. And this brother here said, This is so confusing for you because it doesn't apply to you. This is not a global event. This is a time to celebrate foundational Black Americans. We have always celebrated our accomplishments of our people, not slavery. The slavery aspect is just a testament to what we've been through to accomplish or what we've been able to accomplish while being prisoners of war. We know who we come from and where we come from, and we do not need an African to tell us what and who they think we are. Besides our achievements, our people have always told us who we are. We are Aboriginals of America. The concept of Black History Month does not make sense to Africans because, one, they are not Black. Two, we are celebrating us, not them. We pride ourselves in our ancestors. Africans claim to have some type of intelligence, but they prove time and time again to be very surface level people. Now,
sounds like what a colonizer will say to us.
I don't know who hurt Mike Jones, but not only historically, not only is he historically wrong, he's also lacking a lot of substance in his argument. Now, don't get me wrong. There's parts I agree with in what he said. For example, this is a time to celebrate foundational Black Americans. We've always celebrated the accomplishments of our people, not slavery. Let's start there. It started as an American holiday, right? So there's no disputing that.
Yes.
It started as Negro Week, wasn't it the Negro Week? Or
I would not be able to tell you that.
I think that's how it started, and then made its way into Black History Month, right? So it started in America. There's no denying that. But then to turn around and say Africans claim to have some type of intelligence, but they prove time and time again to be very surface level people. Man, you need to do a lot of homework. The whole Pan-African movement was a global movement, right? It wasn't just Africans or just Caribbeans. It was
not actually started by Africans.
No, it was started by a Jamaican man, Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, yeah.
Right? Garveyism. If you did some homework there, Mike Jones, I think that you're misplacing a lot of what's the word for it? You're misplacing a lot of...
There's frustration.
History.
There's anger.
Yeah. And we understand it, but he's misplacing a lot of history there. And therefore not getting a comprehensive view of the topic there, which we're trying to talk about why a Black History Month is so important, right? And those feelings might get in the way of having an objective view on what we were even talking about, you know?
Well, he was not having an objective view on what we're talking about. And, I hate even making these hot takes or making these bold statements because it's kind of what's making everyone tired of podcasts.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it either way. Sometimes I would say, from what we've seen, people like Mike Jones who've commented us, there's also a lot of anger, frustration. It feels like being directed towards Africans that for me, I just don't understand where this is coming from or what's the justification. To want to highlight that, Black History Month, for example, was for Black Americans. Yes, that's agreed. No African is trying to claim it.
No.
But to then want to direct some level of frustration and anger towards your viewpoint as Africans being somewhat of, what did he even say?
He said very surface level people.
Very surface level people. Either way, they'll find a way to insult Africans.
Yeah.
I just don't know why this happens. And this is kind of what we've seen, and we're trying to address that. We are not the reason. We're not by any means supposed to be even close to an up or come off as we're a detriment to you guys by being here.
Yeah.
Like, we're not that. Why are we seeing a lot of anger and frustration being directed towards Africans? As if like we're out here just, trying to be a menace, trying to be just against foundational Black Americans, for example. Like, this is not the case. I don't know where this is coming from. And if there are Africans who are out here insulting or finding ways to look down, we're going to talk about it. We've had this conversation.
We've had called plenty times. Yeah.
Yes.
Not only have we called those people out, we've called out ways in which we need to be better. Right.
But there's just this unwarranted anger and frustrations I see from a lot of Black Americans towards Africans that a lot of times I just don't find the justification for. We can reason, we can talk about why are you feeling this way? We can break it down, but I just don't know how that then directs towards I hate Africans or I don't like Africans.
Yeah.
They are the problem.
Yeah.
Those two don't link.
It's almost with that same logic applied in reverse, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
it only works for someone, one part, and it doesn't you are just basically allowing this division to continue, and it does not help anyone.
Yeah.
That is of our skin tone.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. So I just don't see it. I've noticed this a lot. I've seen it from our comments, people who are saying, like, they're just one or a few people who, I just see this level of anger and frustration. And you're just using us Africans as the outlet for it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I will say, I got this theory, right? That a lot of people also, because you'll notice some of the accounts that comment that'll be like 1 or 2 followers and following 600.
Yeah.
Right.
Trolls.
I think there's a lot of trolls online who may not even be Black.
Probably not.
But they just want to keep that division. So they hop online and say the wildest things, right? And when you give them the time of day, they thrive off that. And they want to like get even more ingrained into the conversation and keep, poking the bear, basically. We know y'all game, man. That's what I'm gonna say. We are very familiar with your game now. So you'll notice now it's like you don't even got time to reply to trolls like that. So I will say there is that aspect of it, and we know y'all. So just keep it.
Well, there's trolls.
We're watching them.
We have trolls. Yeah, that's cool. You can troll. You can have comments and stuff like that. But I do feel like too, some of them are not trolls.
Oh, for sure.
So what we're seeing sometimes is real, almost anger that we're trying to bring us together. We're trying to build that bridge. We're trying to promote our positivity on the African standpoint. You have the Black Americans, African Americans here, and just highlighting how much we even have in common and how much we should celebrate each other and actually join forces.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it easier for us from the global perspective.
For 100%, yeah.
That's the only way we can reverse, as we mentioned, what has happened to us.
So, I mean, we got to hold everybody accountable.
We have to hold everyone accountable.
And
if we hold Africans accountable for their nonsense they've done, the things they've said, viewpoints, even somewhat was passed down generations, there has to be accountability as well for, look at this guy going on our page and commenting and saying derogatory things towards Africans, coming to us to say that thing.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have, for sure. No, those type of people need to be held accountable.
Like
1,000%.
You're no different than the African who goes around either calling you a cara or claiming all of those things. You're no different than them, and we don't talk about it enough here.
We don't.
We could, we choose not to play victim that, hey, us, we're Africans here living in America, and we just keep berating on our experiences with African Americans, the insults, the bullying, all of the things that we've experienced, our friends have experienced. If we can have a whole series on high school experience, the school experience of what African kids go through, primarily facing bullying from African Americans, we can have a whole series on that. But we choose not to, because we understand there's a bigger issue towards that. This is something that is a problem between both sides, that we're actually trying to have conversations and understand why are we having this issue and what can we do as solutions to spread awareness to prevent that.
There was one particular comment actually kind of along those lines. Somebody said like, we posted a video about unity.
Yes.
And somebody said something about, oh, it's never that. It's always been tribal and it forever will be.
Yeah.
And I got on the comments back and I'm like, I mean, go ahead and think that way, but this isn't an ideology we align with, right? So you can have your own.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead, feel free to think that way. But this is not how we think. And that particular person went on a rant about, see, Black Americans, like, these guys aren't friends of you and of us. And they're, it's like,
I know.
I'm sitting there like, yo, you're not friends of your own people.
Yes.
You're the issue because you're sitting there like, for lack of better terms, F unity, F like building together, F the purpose of community. I'm going to do this by my own. Anywhere you are in life, generally speaking, that's not a good way to approach life.
It's not.
Right? Because
it really isn't.
If you go alone, if you can go fast, but you're alone. Now, if you want to go strong, you go together, right?
I think it's a concept that still a lot of Black African Americans need to get on board on that. I wouldn't say, I think it's a need. Of course, it's a want for everyone. It's not by force. But if you study the scholars, if you just go from scholars, we're not their scholars. We're not, subject matter experts.
No.
But fine, take us out of it. We're just two guys that have a podcast. There are thousands. Everyone got one now.
Everyone has one.
But we talked about this. Garvey, Du Bois, MLK, Malcolm X, the prominent leaders of the 20th century saw the continent of Africa and saw what their brothers were doing in trying to get from their independence and free from the shackles of colonialism. And all of them made deliberate efforts to try and build that bridge. And they understood the only way we can overcome imperialism, colonialism, all the oppression that comes,
all that,
apartheid, is through unity. This is not differential equations.
No.
People, we can say it might sound very cliche, but it is not. This is really how it is.
Yeah.
If we want to go back to when Asian Africa, pre-colonial Africa, when we were conquering the world, you think you did it because you had, everyone there not united or under one mission?
Yeah.
It's just how it works. Any powerful nation is a united one.
Exactly. And any divided one will fall.
And they divided our nation and sent us all over the world. Yeah. Sent us to America, South America, Caribbean. We stayed home. Some say, why didn't we get boats to pick them up? How can we, if we're also being oppressed there? Where are we going to get boats to come pick up? But they divided our nation. And we are finally at a point, and this began in the 20th century, when those leaders we need to get back.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can have the prosperity for us globally. Prosperity, respect for all of us globally. Let's bond together. And guess what? Always, why would they want us to do that? They've always been efforts.
Yeah. Deliberate efforts to derail, whether that's intelligence, intervention, whether that's literal political economy takeovers, whether it's all these things happen.
The media now, we talk about all of these things. So if I have to tell you as a Black person that you should prioritize or you should align with the importance to unite, to build that bridge. If you're American, if you're Afro-Caribbean, if I'm African, if I have to convince you it is important for us to unite and talk about the different ways we can unite and get together for our overall prosperity. If I have to tell you that and you're like not even agreeing or you don't think it's important.
Past that, if you think it's like regressive, actually.
Then, also right,
no
what you have to do. But I'm just telling you this.
Yeah.
This is how we see things. And I'm glad and I'm so happy that so many people have the same viewpoint and understand this thing. But this is what we're trying to do. I think this is where our prosperity comes from.
Yeah.
We can't be siloed. And yes, you can try derail us, tell us, focus on your African countries. You guys are poor, do all of this, focus. Well, yeah. Tell us all you want.
Yeah.
But what did Burna Boy's mom say? You were African before you were anything else.
Yeah. 1,000%, man. You African before you anything else is powerful. But let's not give those minorities too much light of day. Let's focus on another comment, a positive one. This one is from Shayla Evans, 245. Shayla says, I really like this episode. We need more positive conversations about African Americans and Africans creating unity. We need each other. Our oppressors are still benefiting from our oppression and ignorance about what's really going on. I'm African American and I'm fortunate to have been taught by African American scholars and researchers of history. They have taught me about many empires that existed in ancient Africa, colonialism, and the many fights for independence, as well as the African American history from slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, Black Panther, etc. Sorry for such a long comment. Thank you for the episode. Keep spreading positivity. Please don't entertain those who promote disunity. Straight like that.
Thank you, Shayla.
Thank you, Shayla Evans, 245.
Shout out to Shayla.
You know what I'm saying? She hit it right on the head. It's not too much.
Nothing else to add. Yeah. But she said it. We need to each learn each other's history. Find out what makes us all kind of our journeys, how we get together. Yeah. Our differences, our similarities. The differences is as a result of being uprooted from where we're originally from.
Yeah.
And 400 or 500 years have gone by, and now, yes, we look the same, but we've had such different journeys. And what a prime opportunity for us to get to learn from each other.
Yeah.
And when we learn from each other, we become stronger together. When we're stronger together, we can actually unite and improve our lives collectively from a global standpoint. People act like you need to be a humanitarian. We're not trying to win Nobel Peace Prize war here.
You see, people, I'll talk about, say, a personal example is at work, okay? The reason that I've been able to achieve what I have in my field is because of the people who championed me, right? The people who championed me, not one of them is from Uganda, right? Not one of them is from Rwanda. They're more like from Oakland.
Yeah.
From the South, like Dallas, from Boston, from Seattle.
Yep.
Nigeria. Kenya. You see what I'm saying? Like
representation. Do they see something in it?
But past that, those people are looking out for me, or have and are looking out for me as their brother, right? So they see me, they're like, oh, another Black brother, come on up with us, right? Because if you win, I win, right? If I hit the lottery today, I'm not gonna sit there like, let me not tell Ibrahim I just hit on this 10 mil. Like, what am I gonna, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying.
I'm calling you, I'm like, yo, I just hit on 10 mil. what are we doing right now? You see what I'm saying?
For reals.
Like, because I'm seeing it as like, okay, I can take this 10 million, wash it away, invest it somewhere, whatever the case may be. Or I can be, okay, yo, E, check me out. Call two out of the homies. Let's figure out something where we can all win with this 10 mil.
Yep.
It doesn't even have to be the 10 mil, but it's like, I got a milli for us. What are we about to do? The LeBron mentality.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because if you don't have a LeBron, you don't have a LeBron thinker, you don't have a Maverick Carter, you don't have a Rich Porter, you don't have Spring Hill corporation.
Uninterrupted, all of
uninterrupted.
You don't build an empire.
Nothing. Right. So this whole idea that it's like, oh nah, I'm only looking out for my own. Man, what? You know, Brown built a whole school for kids that don't look like him or look like him. It doesn't matter. But the unity and the ability for him to just think outside of, or think about something greater than himself. Now look where he's at, right? Bron doesn't need to play basketball. That's just fun for him, you know? Anyway.
Like I said, the efforts of LeBron and what we're doing, it can be scaled up globally. Mm-hmm. And once we start having that mindset, we start multiplying different communities, and we start scaling that, we change the status quo.
Which is our like the next 5 to 10 years is critical for that.
Yeah, you know, so that's just, you know, it's exciting. I think, especially like, you know, with our generation, next generation, it's just so exciting how through either social media or just, you know, it's so easy now to learn about African cultures, different African countries. So easy to learn about, you know, in America here, the Atlantas, the cities with, you know, a lot of African American history, what their journey is. And then now we all have friends, you know, and I feel like it's so easy to just cherish each other and find ways that we can not only cherish each other, but empower each other as well.
Yep.
Because we may not know the end goal, but once these things start to scale, you look in 10, 15, 20 years, we have a really strong nation. Yeah.
There's a very famous producer, Ninth Wonder, and he always talks about how if you do dope shit, the universe has its way of rewarding you, right? If you do dope shit, people who do dope shit will find you, and dope shit will find you itself. So that message obviously goes to say, like, if your heart is in the right place and if your mind is in the right place, the universe has its way of rewarding you. It may not be the way you think it may happen, but the universe has its way of rewarding you. And so that, now, come on, man, we're on the wave of empowerment here. What was your favorite episode of the season? Do you have one?
Favorite episode of the season? I want to say I think they were all really great conversations. I wouldn't say favorite, but I think it was very important, and for me, it was unexpected as well. When we talked about being African living in the US, you just shared an example. The profound impact just African Americans have had on our careers, our opportunities since we moved here.
Yeah.
It was, one person said they were shocked that this is the first time they had an African acknowledge Nesby or African Americans paving the way for all Black people in the US. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That actually, like, I was like, whoa, like, this is actually people have never seen or heard, like people like me and you share these things. And I'm like, wow, why is like, I thought that this was a no-brainer. It was all given, but it was not. So I think that moment of realization was such a big call to action. And for me, to reaffirm us that it is important for us not to just have these conversations, but to keep it going, to keep sharing this message, because we need to understand these things. And this is not only in the US, wherever you go, wherever country you go, that there are Black people and you get opportunities. Find out how you got those opportunities. There were people before you who came, very few, but they paved the way. And America has become, top 3 destinations for Africans to who can afford an education or who can leave the continent and come here for an opportunity. America is top 3. And then we land here and they call us African American, or we click Black in an application form, Black or African American. And guess what? We're all of a sudden in one bucket. We're in the same bucket as those who were brought here, like our own kins who were brought here 400 or 500 years ago. But all of a sudden, we're in the same bucket. So whatever they went through, whatever they paved, hardships in anything that we're trying to achieve, we're going to have those opportunities and those chances because of them. And that doesn't mean that I just have to be like, okay, cool. No. When you actually understand that, I feel like that even empowers you more to say, look at the odds. Look at what, they've been able to do, that even me now, I'm coming here and these opportunities are given. So it's not something that, it feels like I've taken from them or no. It's a respect acknowledgement. And I was like, dang, this is even more important for us now, for me to share what I know, my experiences being in the motherland. How can we work together?
Yeah. No, that's
that just sparked it for me, and I would say it was from that episode. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me it was the evolution of African stories in Hollywood. Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. I think the conversation around it was really dope. And just hearing people's perspectives also was very interesting. So, that's season 10.
Let us know what was 10. Your favorite episode, what conversation you liked we had and you would like to hear us talk about.
And if you don't know, episode 10 is usually the end of our seasons. So we will be going into a very short recess. As we know, we need to get back onto the content creation plane. But we have some big things coming. We cooking up. Should we tell them what we whipping?
I mean, give them a quick, just a little. All
right.
Little taste.
Little taste is we're working on a newsletter. So the goal with this newsletter is to, one, just bring to you all even more stories, even more just content, even more information, basically, where that newsletter serves as a learning platform. The goal there is to just connect you to even more stories, more people who are just as passionate about edutaining you all on all things African, and just to grow the mission of the Jola Madi, which is to edutain you on all things African, but also drive unity. So
build a bridge.
We're building a bridge, like Jadena said, the 85 to Africa, and this is the foundation of it. So if you are interested in reading our newsletter, please drop your email down in the comments, and we'll go ahead and add you to the email list.
Probably not in the comments. But
not in the comments. Yeah, we'll provide a form for you to fill out and drop your email in there. But yeah, big things coming. That's just one of the things we're working on. There's a few more things. Super excited to share it with you all. But yeah, just stay alert. Stay on the lookout for the boys.
I'm super excited, and I just, like I said, wanted to add. Yeah, we're excited to have the opportunity to get to just see this newsletter. Because personally, I would, if once a week or so I can get a newsletter and get to kind of learn and understand what's going on, get some information in things that are relevant to both us Africans living in the US or any Black person of the diaspora. Quick read, learn, see stories, what's going on. I think that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it would just only bring us more together. And we are seeing an overflow of wars, diaspora wars, hot takes, podcasts, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Everyone has everything. Everyone has something to say. But sometimes it's just good to read and hear stories and let the reader actually make an informed decision.
Decision or inference. Yeah.
There's a lot of talking. And I think we need to do a little bit more reading.
100%. Okay, we gotta read a lot more. So that's what we're working on next, and it won't be gone long. Just a short recess. No spiritual cleansing this time.
No spiritual cleansing because
we can't go home in the middle of the day.
We're Amazon Prime this season, so yes.
But I just want to thank you all for supporting the pod and the movement. 5 seasons now is a mad thing. We've been steady at it. So if you're new, if you're old, just know we really appreciate you for being a part of this journey. And yeah, we just getting started. It's a lot to come. You want to say anything before we?
No, you said it all. I appreciate it. If you ever make it till the end of our videos, we appreciate you. The comments, the likes, the interactions, like just to take your time of the day to let us know what your opinion is, how you feel, like that. All is that means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And as you just mentioned, we're just excited to keep growing, canoeing through this life and sharing it with you guys. And we hope in return, we can at least make a positive impact in your day, your hour, your life, or whatever you're doing. So just, we're going to keep going, and glad that this season was very good in showing a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
And to us highlighting the need to build the bridge.
What are we going to call it? We got to call it something to Africa. We're going to figure that part out. Or he might have just dropped a hint there with the bridge.
We'll see who.
Nah, hey, thank you guys again. This has been season 5, episode 10. As always, stay blessed, stay humble, stay dangerous. Signing out till next time. Peace.